Hi, welcome to Steve's Cycle. My name's Steve. This is going to be part one of many videos on their 1980 Can Am 125 MX6 project. I bought this bike about a year ago up at the Mid-Ohio AMA Vintage Bike Days. A great place to go if you're into vintage motorcycles. Well, I go up there every year. I've been up there about 6 years now, and I love the swap meet. I go around, buying bikes for new projects and finding parts for the projects that I have. But I ran up on this MX6 up there about a year ago, and it was an all original bike. And the story was that the bike was took apart in the late 80s. When I bought it, the clutch cover was removed and the cylinder head was removed, but all the parts was there for it. And like I said, the story was the guy, his cousin or someone had bought the bike, and they took it apart. Something had happened to the engine, and they took it apart in the late 80s, and it was just never put back together. So it set most of its life. So luckily I got it for a good deal, and I decided I was going to not really restore it, but just refurbish it, because it's, like I said, very nice, to keep it like the original paint and stuff on the frame and everything. So I went ahead and took the engine apart and everything before I've done any videos, because this is some of my first videos. I'm new to YouTube, so I had already disassembled the bike before I had a chance to do any videos on the assembly of it. But I got the engine apart right now, and that's going to be the first thing that we're going to do. We're going to completely rebuild the engine. We're going to bore the cylinder and put a new piston in it, and whatever else it needs, bearings and seals and gaskets. And when we're going to do some work on the suspension, it needs some fork seals, and I may replace the rear shocks. The shafts are kind of pitted, and I don't believe they're rebuildable shocks. They're S&W shocks, according to the service manual that I bought for it. I'm not real familiar with Can Am's. In fact, this is the first one I've ever owned. Well, it's the first one I've ever worked on, for that matter. So I found the service manual for it, and I figured that would help. Has some parts breakdowns in it, and different ways of setting some stuff up, because they're very different from the Japanese bikes that I'm used to restoring. The engine's a little bit more complex when it comes to putting them together. There's shims and end plays and things like that you have to set, which most Japanese models you don't. So I figured the service manual would definitely come in handy. And plus, these Can Am's, there's not a lot of information available for them on the internet, especially the 125 MX6. I can hardly find any information on the 125s. They seem to have made a lot of 250s, and in fact I've seen a lot of 250. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I've seen a few 250 MX6s. But this was the first 125 MX6 I've ever seen in person, and so it's a pretty rare bike, and according to some of my old articles I have from the early 80s, I think Dirt Bike or Motocross Action, the 1980 MX6 125 made the most horsepower of any 125 made. So and it uses a rotary valve two-stroke. So the rotary valve engine seems to make a little bit more power than the revalve engines, from what I've read. I don't know. I've never rode the MX6, so I'm definitely surprised to see how it stands up to my 1979 CR 125. So we'll get started. I'll do a little bit of a walk around on the 125, and then we'll get started on the engine.
So this is how I bought the Can Am. other than the engine being out. I took it out, but the cylinder head had been cylinder and cylinder head had been removed. But I got all the rest of the parts for it. Boxed up, good seat, great exhaust, all the side panels, airbox. But all the paint on the frame's original. Rubbed off a little bit on the sides. That's normal where your boots ride. Probably going to replace the rear shocks. You can see the shafts are pitted pretty bad. And I don't think these are rebuildable shocks. They're S&W shocks. So it doesn't look like that they're rebuildable, but I'll probably pull the springs off and see anyways. You know, we may take the shocks apart and maybe machine out some new shafts. Got really nice wheels, nice rims, no cracks that I've seen. I don't think the bike has a lot of hours on it. You know, the foot pegs, there's hardly no play in the pin. And I have bought some of these old motocross bikes and have 2 inches of flop in the foot pegs. Got very nice forks, no pits whatsoever. We're going to take them apart and put some new fork seals. One of the dust boots is missing. It looks like original paint on the fork legs also. Front wheels in really good shape. Hardly no rust on the spokes. There's the original number plate, fender. Gas tank's in real good condition. Probably buff it a little bit and bring most all the shine back. Got some been skin up a little bit there where it's been down, but there's a company that makes these reproduction decals, so I'm gonna get a set of them, and I think it comes with the tank decals also. So I'm gonna dig the rest of the parts out that I got with the bike and clean it all up and inspect all of them parts. But I think for the most part this is gonna be a really nice bike when it's finished. And there's not a whole lot to do. We'll probably put a good set of tires on it. I don't probably won't put new tires on it, but probably a good set of race takeoffs. Looks like the original handlebars, original kill switch. All the controls look to be original. Magura, I believe, is who made all the levers.